Hey, welcome back. Sorry if I was wearing this t-shirt yesterday. You can tell when it's clothes washing day around here. Anyway, the topic this week is healing. That's a important topic, isn't it? Hard to think of a more important one. I think when it comes to healing, there's one spiritual principle that is that comes to mind, and it's a again, it's one of those provocative, prickly, unusual, alien sayings that causes a lot of people to screw up their faces. But it's the phrase, judge not appearances, judge the truth. Judge not appearances, judge the truth. Well, let's flesh that out and why that's important for being healed or being a healer. Perhaps you are a healer. I bet you are. I bet you bring a healing presence everywhere you go, and that in your heart of hearts, you would like to radically expand your capacity to be a healer. All the great healers, avatars, saints, and sages that have performed healings on the planet, they've all declared unequivocally that we have the same power if we could but use it and find it and put it into demonstration. So, in order to heal, the phrase, don't judge appearances, judge the truth, is the essential turning point inside of our mind. By this, I mean all great healers, including the great ones who could perform miraculous healings, they never saw the injury or the infirmity or the disease or the destruction of the being. They simply didn't see it. They saw through the facade to the pure, perfect, unadulterated, unconditioned brilliance and eternal nature of the being that they were dealing with. In other words, while 99 point many nines% of humans are totally and entirely swayed by the appearance of somebody with a horrifying physical condition, for example, the great spiritual master simply is not swayed by that appearance. They see through appearances and they see to the truth. Now, anytime somebody holds to the truth in the situation, it always heals. One characteristic of the truth, the absolute pure perfect nature of being, is that it always heals, it always harmonizes, it always uplifts. How do you know the truth is the truth? Well, that's what it does. That it always does that. It never fails to do that. Now, people that are easily and heavily swayed and influenced by the appearances of things, even though their motives and intentions might be the best, they're generally not the best healers. Now, some people like to get together for some odd reason and talk about their problems and actually amplify them. They might create a blog about their particular condition or disease. And again, I'm not dismissing this or making fun of it or belittling it by any means. It's just different people do different things. And so some people get together to talk about the strength and um, the reality of their problem rather than seeing through it. This is why great masters, if you look into their stories, one of the things they always asked somebody before they would heal them is, do you want to be healed? And oftentimes there might be a pause on the part of the person whose healing was upcoming. And sometimes they had to think about it. I think nowadays in this modern age, a lot of people who say that they would like to be healed they actually don't. There's a certain amount of self-identification or self-affirmation that comes from who we think we are and our narrative. And if that were to suddenly end instantly, we would be so lost. Essentially, our ego would be destroyed. Our current sense of self would be demolished, that it would be intolerable. In other words, I think it's quite possible that our ego would sacrifice our well-being in order to be right. Maybe you've heard the phrase, somebody would say, I think you'd rather be right than be happy. So for those of us who are in the healing trade, and I think we all are, what we need to do, it's incumbent upon us, no matter what we look at, to see through that problem. It's sort of like the person who might go out into the street, a Mother Teresa, for example, and see the homeless, the addicted, the mental, the ones with the mental disease, and look at that horrifying appearance. And yet they simply hold to the truth of that being with such power that it melts away the facade. It's sort of like the statue of David covered with a bunch of mud, and the laser beam vision of one who sees through appearances simply causes all that to scale off, and then the truth is revealed. We also do this with ourselves. In order to participate in the healing of ourselves, we no longer are overly awed or swayed by the appearance of our life. Oh my goodness, my disease, my rheumatism, my poverty, my scarcity, my grief, my loneliness. We simply are not influenced, and we see through that to the truth of our being, and then we get in agreement with God, so to speak. So we're becoming stronger healers this week. As you look out into the world and see appearances that are appalling, look through them and bring the truth. See you tomorrow.